Hello everyone, my name is Atul Kumar Singh, and today we are going to solve LeetCode problem number 1752, and its title is check if array is sorted and rotated. So what is the problem saying? Given an array nums, return true if array was originally sorted in non-decreasing order. Means array is sorted in ascending order, then rotated some position. Means arrays are already sorted and rotated to some positions, including zeros. If it is not sorted in non-decreasing order, we can return a false. And it is giving a rotated array x position at x position result in array v of same length such that b of I is nearly equal to a of I plus x modulo a dot length. So we didn't need this. We'll move to the example. For example, this is the array nums containing the element 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So what we can observe here? So this is returning true. So first of all, it uh, rotated and it originally sorted in the ascending order. So we'll check for ascending order means the next element is greater than the previous element. So 3, 3 is the current element and 4 is the next element. So yes, 4 is greater than 3, then 5 is greater than 4, and we are getting a sudden dip. That is the at only one case, at only one or less than one case the next element will be less than the previous element. And for every case, the next element is always greater than the previous element. So at one case, we are getting the next element is less than the previous element. So despite of checking all the elements that we know already, that next element will be greater than the previous element, next element will be greater than the previous element, then at only one case, the next element is less than the previous element. We only check for the edge case. We will introduce a counter variable and check if the next element is less than the previous element at only one or less than one time, then we may say that array is rotated and every element is sorted in non-decreasing order, and we can return a true. So for this, we will declare a count variable. So we will declare a count variable and initialize with 0. Then we will declare n which having the length of nums vector n containing the length of nums. It is nums dot size, as simple as, and we will loop through the array and check only for the one edge case. If the next element is less than the previous element, then we can increase the count, and if count is less than equal to 1, then we can return a true, and if count is greater than 1, then we have got more than one dip, means we can return a false. So we'll iterate through the vector. So int I equal to 0, it will be iterated through each element of the array I plus plus. As the condition satisfied, we will check only for the edge case. That is, next element should be less than the previous element. So we are checking if nums of I means the previous element should be greater than the next element. Nums of I plus 1. So when you place it, you will get a error. For example, array the vector nums is of length 5. So in n variable we will get a length of 5. So the loop will run to all the elements. I will run from I 0 to 4. So for last element we will get 4. and I plus 1, the next element will be 5, so we'll get out of 1. To fix this, we can do I plus 1 modulo modulo n, that is the length of the vector, and we will get the same result. How we'll get the same result? For example, I can prove you. For example, nums of I means I is currently at 0. At 0's index, we have 3. It is currently true. Then we will go to nums of I plus 1. Nums of I plus 1 means 0 plus 1, that is 1. 1 divided by 5. The length is 5. So 1 divided by 5, you will get 1. So we will return 1. So at last element, how it is fixing? At last element, I is at 2. That is at 4th index. Currently, we have 5 elements, so 2 is at 4th index. So is 4th element. So nums of I will get 2. Nums of I plus 1. Nums of I plus 1 means I is currently at 4. 4 plus 1, that is 5. 5 modulo 5 is 0. So nums of I plus 1 modulo 5 will move here. So it will go to the circular array. So again, this condition will not be satisfied and will return a true. So nums of I should be greater than nums of I plus 1 modulo n. If this condition satisfies, we can increase the count. It is the edge case. In at all at every element, the previous element is less than the next element. The previous element is less than the next element. But at only one dip, we are getting the next element is less than the previous element. So we are getting, so we have applied a condition that if the previous element is greater than the next element, then increase the count. So if we, after completing the loop, if we have count less than equal to 1, we can return a true. And if we have count is greater than equal to 1, we can say we can return a false. So if count is greater than equal to 1, we will return a true. And if count is less than equal to 1, if greater than equal to 1 means we will return a false. If count is less than equal to 1, then means we have got one dip, or if 0 dip, then also array is sorted in ascending order, we will return a true, no problem at all. Return a true. If count is greater than equal to 1, we will return a false. Else we will return a false. Simply return a false. So we will check if everything looks fine or not. Yes, all test case passes. We'll submit the solution. Yes, it is submitted successfully. So we will discuss about the time complexity. So as it is traversing through all the elements of the vector, the time complexity is big O of n, and it is not consuming any extra space or introducing any extra data structure. The space complexity is simply big O of 1. So thanks for watching my video.